You know what I want? Hi. I want to go over and get all that garbage that's in that fire pit over there. It's disgusting. I'll take it with me. It's no big deal. How peaceful can you get? And even I hear the birds. Look at my toiletries. They used to be organized. And why do they call them toiletries? That's pretty disgusting when you think about it, isn't it? Camouflage works wonders. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Today's Saturday? Uh-oh.
You need to take your pills.
Now, for those of you who didn't know, I'm a heart patient. I've only had 3 heart attacks in 8 cents. Don't I look it? But my cardiologist was so impressed with me living that he put me on a Bayer pharmaceutical experimental drug, and I'm missing one of those drugs. No, I'm not. And I have to, and notice the name. There's no names, there's only numbers, and I have to take one from the gray bottle and one from the white bottle every morning. Now, I think it's a blood thinner, but what do I know? I do what the doctor tells me. But I take, and I don't know whether I'm going to be in trouble for this, but I take Plavix, well, they're generic for Plavix. I take aspirin, and I take this, so I think I'm taking like 4 blood thinners. So when you see a Band-Aid on me like this, it's because I touched something and I started to bleed to death. So within 3 feet of everywhere in the van, I have Band-Aids in my toolbox. I have Band-Aids in the table that pulls out in the back. So basically, if I'm bleeding, I'm always prepared. I think that's the Boy Scouts motto. Hi, welcome back to John and his van. In the first video, I told you that I'm far from an expert, and you're gonna watch me learn, and hopefully it'll help anybody who's planning on doing this in the future. I have become a lot more organized, but I haven't thrown out anything. So when I throw out the excess that I told you I took too much of, I'll even have more space. But notice there are no more Scott towels on the top of the refrigerator, and the only things that are up there are things that I'm going to be discussing later or in another video, things that you must have. So for the first time, you're seeing how my bed turns into an actual dinette. I could fit easily 4 people, and unfortunately I haven't met 3 people who wanted to come into my van. That's a joke. I've had a lot of people come in and look at the van, but I haven't. It's always been set up in a bed because I'm by myself. But I wanted you to see what it looks like when it is set up. Last night, my table broke while I was getting out of bed to go to the little girl's room in the middle of the night. the table actually broke and we had to support it. And I think I'll include what we did to reinforce it. So until I get back to Florida in another month or two, I'll be able to do a whole bunch of stuff that I want to do. So let's start with storage. I'm fortunate. Oh, let me say this. I'm finding that the cab, that a van is like wine. You don't have to spend a lot of money to find a good tasting wine, and it's up to the individual taste of the individual. So I happen to still love my van. But I'll tell you some of the things that I did realize. I told you in the first video that I had no intentions of going anywhere where it was cold. What I didn't realize that in May and June, even though in the south it starts warming up, in the Northwest, specifically Northern California, Oregon, Utah, Idaho, and even Colorado, it may have reached 90 in the high 90s during the day, but I woke up and it was 31 degrees. So I turn on my oven for about 3 minutes. It warms up the interior, and because I have 4 inches of wool insulation in the walls, it stays fairly comfortable. Right now, it's probably 90 degrees where we are. I have no air conditioner. I have my skylight with my mosquito net. I don't even have my Max Air fan on. I just have the lid open so that hot air rises. I have the 2 windows for breeze. I have my mosquito netting on the side door, and I have mosquito netting here on the back door. And I promise you, I'm not sweating, and it's very, very comfortable. But remember, I said in my first van, I couldn't live without these fans. They're 12 volt, they're gyroscopic, if you will, and they go in almost any single direction. When I'm cooking, I turn them on me. When I turn on at night before I go to bed and it's cold and I want to get the chill out of the air, I turn on the 3-burner stove, like I say, for 3 to 5 minutes, and I turn this fan on, and it brings the heat into the bedroom, if you will. So I'm learning my way around the van, and I will also say this much. Like in life, there's plenty of things that you have to go through that you have no control over, and then you learn how to take control, because the things in life that are valuable and fun and memorable, you look back and you say, yeah, I had these problems, and believe me, I've had more of my share of problems, but there's always somebody who's got worse. But I've had my share of problems, and I count my blessings, and this is one of my blessings. I have in Florida, where I've lived since 1973, the speed bump in my parking lot, I believe, was the highest elevation in the entire state of Florida. And when I got into Northern California, Oregon, and now through to Colorado, I have never seen mountains or anything as spectacular, and now I know why they call God Almighty, because He is. This is absolutely breathtaking, spectacular. And I wouldn't, all the things that I have to go through, the little inconveniences of trying to have a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, and a dining room all in 12 feet. Sure, you see a lot of videos and every place is pristine, and you see couples living in 12 feet. And the place is always neat, but trust me, when somebody's got to go to the bathroom, the other one better go outside and let that person have total privacy. When it comes to walking between the kitchen counters to each other, especially with an indoor shower, that's got to be a little more inconvenient than what I have. Now, speaking of showers, I told you that I love the fact that I don't have anything floor to ceiling taking up space in here. And I've got two closets. This one has clothes in it, and this is like a throw-all. This is where I put the pillows. I think I have 4 or 6 throw pillows, and what a pain in the neck they are when you're trying to go to bed. I don't need all those pillows. I've got regular pillows that are now in storage in the closet. So you have to have a space for everything, and sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes you have to put the pillows on top of the kitchen counter just to go to sleep. It's an inconvenience, but it's no big deal. Okay? When it comes to my outdoor shower, I told you in the first video that I have no intentions of going where it's going to be cold. And the warmest thing I have is a sweatshirt. I think, oh no, I have a fleece zipper jacket. That's the warmest thing I have. I have sweatpants and a pair of jeans, and everything else is shorts and bathing suits. But the shower can only be used when it's fairly hot out there. 31 degrees, you're not going to take, or 44 degrees, you're not going to take an outdoor shower. Even though I have hot water, it's just not convenient. So, sponge baths. Now, sponge baths I've had in hospitals in my life, but now I'm learning that you got to use a sponge bath. In some of the videos that I watched over the last year during the pandemic, I saw people using Huggies baby wipes. I've got them. Sometimes you just have to, you want to feel clean, and you don't take showers as often, but I want to feel clean all the time. I shave almost every day because I'm not one of those guys who likes beards, and I personally think some women like that macho kind of guy, and I have baby soft skin, so you can cut that, by the way. Over here is where I keep these are my paper cups, this is my glasses, this is chamomile vanilla tea, and this is mango ginger tea, and then of course every once in a while I use the sugar-free Jell-O. I like the pistachio, and I also love the chocolate. Now, as you can see, I'm on a diet, so I use Splenda at all times. And when I cheat, I only cheat when it's cold, and then I cheat with Swiss Miss. Give me a break. Okay, part of this video is going to be on doodads and gadgets that I'm so glad that I have. So I'm going to start with, I think I mentioned it earlier, is a piece of carpet. Because if you are in colder weather, it's nice to just lay out and be able to have warm feet without having to put on your socks in the morning or whatever. Okay, from that, here's a couple of little things. I bought a bunch of these, and some of them really aren't strong enough to do anything other than to clip 2 pieces of paper together. But I found in Harbor Freight, I think in the clearance bucket or the promotional bucket, it's called Pittsburgh clamps, and these little things are stronger than this big thing. It's amazing, and I use them quite often, and I'm going to buy more. Okay? The other thing you need is twist ties. When you, like I have my WeBoost wire that will go all the way to over there in front of that seat when I get a swivel chair. I have the wire, again, wrapped up in a twist tie for my hearing aid charger and for my chargers for my cell phone. I just don't like wires all over the place, okay? I even have it, oh no, I have it here. And when the time comes for me to put it away in the closet, it's already wrapped up. So, convenience, okay? The other thing is a small lantern. Doesn't have to be this one, but it's great at night. I read by it. Instead of at night when I don't have solar or I don't have my engine running, charging my battery, I try to use these little lights wherever I can. Okay? The other thing is bungee cords. And I got to be honest with you, when I bought this bucket of bungee cords, I got so excited because there are some really strong ones, which are great. And then there's a series of long ones, but I have found that I wind up tying the long ones in knots to be smaller. So I needed short ones to hang my Wii Boost, which hangs here. And by the way, these are just command strips, like in your garage if you were going to put up a shovel or hold up a broom. That's what I have on the outside of the van as well as here. When I take it down, this is where I store it. And then I take my fishing rods and I, with very tiny bungee cords, wrap the fishing rods up next to the Wii Boost extension pole, and it's secure. A level. Muy importante. And if you don't know what that is, that's Greek for very important. Everything's Greek to me. Duct tape, which fixed my screen when the sliding door caught into my mosquito net screen and tore it. Black duct tape on both sides. Two-sided tape. There's only one kind, GM. Remember I said that. There's only one kind. I've used everything. Okay? Matches. But probably more important is one of those barbecue lights. And you can, there you go. And when you're making a fire, you don't want to use matches. This is helpful. Okay? A powerful flashlight. This is the kind of flashlight that can zoom in or spread out. There are bigger ones and better ones than this, but this is working for me so far. Batteries of all sizes. And what else do I have? The mosquito netting. Again, probably very, very important. I can't stand flies, I can't stand flying insects, and they have worked for me, both on the side and in the back. I got them on Amazon, but you can get them built specifically for Promaster, but they do the exact dimensions and it'll cost you $200. I think I paid $22 or $24, and when it got to be too much fabric, I just bunched it up and taped it to the sidewalls. So they work, and they work great. Okay, glasses like this are also very important for someone like me because I lose glasses all over the place. And I have a set up front. That's very important too. And I have a set here, and I have two sets in the compartment under the steering wheel. And I hope I didn't break this, but I highly recommend this. I use this almost every day. And I think I got it online. I think it was Patriot. And I have a GNC nutritional vanilla flavored powder. I add blueberries or strawberries and milk or water, an ice cube or two. No wires, but it does have a USB cord to charge it, and I have it for either breakfast or lunch or a snack. Phenomenal. Doesn't take up a lot of room, and there's not a lot of wires, again, all over the place. Okay? I have a list here. Small containers. Remember, the first time you saw my cabinetry, everything was packed like crazy. I wound up organizing a lot better. And the only reason you see these is because I use plastic bags all the time. I know that it's not ecologically fantastic, but it's not that I'm throwing them away. I'm using them for storage, to wrap things, and also to keep things from rattling. Okay, that's cool. This is also a must. I have a roll of it that I find myself using all the time. Excuse me. And I didn't use my elbow. Dang. I can put my phones, I can put my books, I can put my my chargers, everything on these things, and they don't fall. And I even have them lining my shelves and things. I'm not going to say they never fall. The only reason these would fall is that I'm stupid and I leave the cabinet open. And that has happened. But not everything fell, because everything that was sitting on it stayed on it. So that's cool. Okay, so twist ties, bungee cords. Banana net mesh. These things are great. I just have 2 hooks, okay? And I keep in here my apples, my limes, and my lemons. And by the way, if you've never seen a lemon like this before in your life, I never had either, and until I went to visit my sister Marianne and her 4 lovely kids. And this is a Ponderosa lemon, and that's a lime. It's a little, not very fresh lime, but look at the difference. It's amazing. Okay. I also have one of these things that goes on my head, so that if I have to go out at night, I can turn it on and I wear it. But it is interesting. It's a fire blanket. So in addition to the fact that I have a fire extinguisher here and another one in the back, this is a fire blanket that, if God forbid, I could just throw it over, or if God forbid I caught on fire, I can cover myself and roll, as they say. So I'll keep that handy. This is something I really didn't want to talk about, but there is such a thing called a pee bottle. And I use it in the middle of the night because I'm not about to start opening up my toilet. So, and then I dump it in the morning. And I know that for women, they now have these plastic funnel urinal type things that they can use to also pee in a bottle. So that's cool. Okay, here's something that I discovered that I absolutely love when I barbecue or grill a steak, and I can do it right here on my stove as opposed to a frying pan. It's called the Rock, and I got it at Costco, and I highly recommend it. It's got a flat side and a rib side, and the steaks come out just like they were done on a barbecue grill. And if it's raining, I can still have steak. So that's cool. Also, I have a 12-volt vacuum, which plugs into my little 12-volt outlet, and I'm good as gold. Well, maybe not good as gold.
You need to trim.
There it is. And that's cool to have. And the only reason I use that is because I usually sweep the excess dirt, but sometimes it gets under the little cabinet areas, and it's got a couple of attachments which are really, really cool. So and you can just keep adding. Hello. Adding attachments. It even has a brush. So if I was going to do the, all that attaches to another attachment. But you got the idea, and I've got 2 filters, an excess filter. I don't remember where I bought it, but it's called HOTOR. I'm sure you can look that up online and find out who distributes them or who sells them or whatever. So I recommend that as well. And last but not least, I think, magnets. We use magnets everywhere. Here's magnets for my granddaughter's pictures, and for my niece and nephew, for my notes that I want to keep in front of me at all times. That's another problem. You're putting things away, or at least I am, and I like to know where I've written something. If it's important, I put it on the refrigerator with a magnet. Last but not least, for me, I'm, as you can see, I'm svelte. I might need a man's ear every once in a while, but I don't believe in guys with six-packs when you can have a half a keg. You know what I'm talking about? Wine, again, muy importante. And duct tape, and the two-sided tape. I neglected to tell you about the problem I had with coffee. Because I have propane stove, and because I love coffee every morning, I use a percolator, like my mother used to use. The percolator, the metal percolator, where you put the coffee grinds in a thing, and then you've got a top on that, and then a lid on that, and a little glass thing, and when it percolates, you can see the color of the coffee in the glass. Well, I broke the glass. So I had to throw the whole thing away, because you can't go just buy the glass. So I went into Walmart or Target, and I found this. And I find this to be rather unique, and I happen to enjoy the coffee, but of course, it depends on the coffee you use. You know, I'm not going to tell you what coffee I use, but I like good coffee. So, this is all it is. And there, you know what it is? It's like a modern day sock. If you've ever seen people like in Costa Rica, the people who unfortunately couldn't afford to buy whatever, they have what's known as a sock. It's not a real sock, but it's a fabric thing that they put their coffee grinds in, and then they pour boiling water over it, and that makes the coffee, and it's basically dripped coffee. This is the exact same thing. I put 3 or 4 teaspoons of coffee in here, and I pour boiling water over it, and I let it go down. And then what I do is I pour this coffee back into the pot. I boil it a second time, and I pour it over the grinds that are still in here, and it makes it even stronger. And I make enough to fill up a large container like this, and in the morning I have it, and then when I'm driving, I still have it. I don't have to stop at a Starbucks. But I happen to love this. This is very, very convenient for me. All I do is rinse it out and put it back in the box. And it's a blessing. It's easier to clean than it is all the little pieces of the percolator thing, and I'm not using electricity and drawing down my battery. So I love it. And that's the best that I can give you. If I think of more, I'll let you know. Wires, wires, wires!
Hello, I charge your hearing aids. You love me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
This is what fenders are for. Don't take a picture yet. We'll do that later.
It's realism.
I'm cleaning the van for you. All right, here's realism. This is where I keep my ties, and I need 1,000 of them. But I don't have to go looking for them because they're always there. So like right now, ta-da! I'm really doing a good job here. Filthy from last night. This is 2 fish. This is for Thursday and this is for Friday. And if you turn them around, that's for Wednesday and this is for Tuesday. And then you could do this. That's Monday and Sunday. And then if you do this, it's Saturday and Friday. And then you're covered.
So you're going to eat all that?
No. Shut off the camera. Now. All right. I'm ready to vanish.